back to my channel, Mental Health with Melissa. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I post new videos every Sunday, and subscribing to my channel really helps me get mental health information out there to our communities of color and tons of LCSW test prep. So if you're watching this, this is, just so you know, part 2 to my long-term versus short-term therapy topic. And so you're going to want to go and check out the part 1 video first. I'll link it down below. And like I had mentioned in that video, I really focus this video on just 2 different types of therapy interventions, psychodynamic and CBT. However, you will need to know all of the therapeutic interventions for the LCSW test, and I do go over each and every one of those on my LCSW test prep program entitled Social Work Study with Melissa, and you can find that at the link down below. All right, so just as a recap from the last video, a very short recap, again, you're going to want to watch that first video first because I go into detail about long-term versus short-term therapy, and I use psychodynamic and cognitive behavioral therapy as examples to each. So let's go ahead and get into the question. This question is a best type of question. So as you see here, best, so that means that, you know, maybe there are several options that could meet the criteria, but we really want to know what, if we're prioritizing, what is the best option. So with all of my vignettes, I always suggest that you pause, read the vignette, choose the answer, and when you have your answer, play so you can compare and contrast. So let's go ahead and go into it now. A client presents to his first session with the therapist with symptoms related to anxiety, reporting his main stressors come from work as he believes all of his colleagues think he is a screw-up. So let's go ahead and start to mark up this. And this worries him in his day-to-day. He reports his latest performance appraisal had high scores, and outside of work, he feels less stress. Oh, that's interesting. So it's just work-related. What type of therapy intervention would best meet his needs? So we're going to take a look at the options and really keep in mind, based on the last video, what the appropriate answer would be. So option A, EMDR. So we actually didn't go over EMDR during our last video, but again, you're going to want to know all of the interventions. EMDR is a type of therapy that treats trauma. It can also treat anxiety and some other symptoms, but you have to be well versed in EMDR, trained in it. And this isn't necessarily what we have here about his symptoms aren't like real indicators that he may need EMDR. So just by the process of elimination, that doesn't sound like it would be appropriate. Option B, psychodynamic. So again, based on the last video, psychodynamic really focuses on more long-term therapy. Maybe you want to figure out what in a person's childhood or in their past experiences have shaped how they cope with things today. Now, with this particular client, he is very specifically anxious at work. So he doesn't have the same sort of stress, it sounds like, outside of work. So that tells us that maybe he might be appropriate more for shorter term, really directive focused therapy. So because of that, psychodynamic probably wouldn't be the best option. CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy, what we had gone over during the first part of this video is that we really want to work on the belief systems, identifying belief systems, and we already see a key word here, that he believes his colleagues think he's a screw-up. But he actually had high scores in his work appraisal, his work performance appraisal, and he's not feeling that same stress outside of work. So we could really focus on his belief systems and his thoughts, and that sounds like that would be a really good option. So let's just take a look at the last option to rule it out. Option D, solution focused. So we didn't talk about solution focused in the last video, but essentially solution focused therapy is also short-term therapy, and it occurs when you access a client's strengths and resources, and it's really brief goal-directed therapy. So it focuses on how a client has done things in the past to achieve things and maybe would be good for like crisis intervention. So although that this might be a good answer, I think again, if we're looking at this best here, we know specifically with some of this verbiage, belief system believes that his colleagues think he's a screw up. However, we have some of this evidence here that he actually had high scores. Then we're really going to want to choose CBT. CBT is going to be the best option for this. So CBT is going to be the answer for this vignette. What did you get? Did you choose CBT or did you choose a different option? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you did choose another option, what is your rationale for choosing the other option? I'm really curious to hear that and to know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, managing mental health matters.